baseball, not always the best team wins, right? You got to still love to get done.
Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this special edition of YBMcast, powered by Game 7 Baseball, Game7Baseball.com. Got some good stuff happening still with Game 7 Baseball. We got some fun tournaments still out there. Please check it out. On today's Prime Sports Call Week, I have with me, as we are going to break down Class 6. The districts are out. We're heading toward it. And in the top corner, I have Mr. Head Coach Dave Wiggins, RBC Director. Good to see you, Dave.
Great to see you, Brian. Happy to be on the show.
Absolutely. And in the bottom corner, we've got the guru himself from Prep Baseball, Mr. Kevin Moulder. How's it going, buddy?
Doing great. Fired up for this week and just overall postseason baseball's here. It's a great time of year.
Absolutely. It is. And guys, we're going to start right off the get in my humble thoughts. I don't say opinion because usually opinions are followed by rants of rage or giddiness, and I'm just not prone to that. This is I think through this stuff, and I'm not saying this lightly, but I think this is the best district in the state right here. The toughest one that is going to be gone through. Not that there's better teams, but just overall quality of teams in District 1. And guys, it starts with this Jackson squad down in the Fighting Indians in District 1. Seckman with the number 2 seed. You got Vianney at 3. A little surprised by that one. Oakville 4, Lindbergh 5, Northwest Cedar Hill 7, and Fox 8. I'm surprised by that as well, but there you go. Kirkwood comes in, your alma mater there, Kevin, at 6, and I think it's going to be a tough out for Vianney. So, Kevin, speaking of your alma mater, we'll start with you here in District 1.
Yeah, I think I agree with your opening assessment there. In terms of depth, 1 through 8, I think this is the best district top to bottom in terms of competitive nature. I don't necessarily think these are, the top, like high end, but it is a bunch of really, really good baseball team. Obviously, Jackson's had a great year. They're a real player, have an opportunity to win state. I think Vianney fits into that as well. Seckman is extremely dangerous with their pitching depth. Oakville has one of the top power arms in the state, and a fun roster in general. Lindbergh, we talked about them early in the season. They were one of my preseason favorites and have stumbled a little bit, but they have the firepower. There's no question. They have the pieces, the horses on the mound. Kirkwood had a really good season last year. This year, they've played a really competitive schedule. They have some really nice pieces there as well. Then you got Northwest, and Fox is a relatively strong 8 seed. So this is going to be a highly competitive district, and my goodness, there's some big arms in this district, Dave. Almost all teams have a pretty good arm to run out there. Division I arms all over the place in this district. So this is going to be a fun one to follow.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. You just got to – I just want to look at the first-round matchups because they're exciting. You look at – even Jackson and Fox, I think everybody's picking Jackson there, but Fox did just beat Lindbergh yesterday. Lindbergh threw their 1. I think Fox had 10 hits off him in 4 or 5 innings. So, they're playing good ball. the Oakville-Lindbergh matchup is extremely intriguing, essentially because Oakville threw Aiden Zengley last time they played Lindbergh, and he flat out dominated. So it makes you wonder if in Coach Sturm and his staff's head, do we hold CJ and do we throw Aiden against Lindbergh? Does Aiden match up better against Lindbergh because of how well he pitched? Because they do have a lot of left-handed hitters in their lineup. That makes you wonder there because we can absolutely talk about CJ Lake being a power arm. Go look at Aiden Zengley's numbers. Aiden Zengley's been fantastic on the mound. He's been absolutely fantastic, and he's throwing upper 80s now with good power stuff. Caleb Owens is another really good pitcher they have. So Oakville's dangerous. Obviously, Lindbergh's kind of Jekyll and Hyde, right? Can they put it all together for 3 games in the district? Who knows? Talented roster. You assume Jack Polite throws that game. Jack's very good. Oh, I don't know. Maybe Coach Scott rolls his dice and throws Austin Jones. You just don't know. Maybe John Calcaterra gets the start. John's been as good as both of those guys. Just waiting for that lineup to kind of all produce together, I think is the big thing there. John's been on the barrel recently, hitting everything. Seckman Northwest to me almost seems like a no contest. I don't think Seckman has much of a worry there at all. Northwest just doesn't have a whole lot this year. And then Kev, your Kirkwood team's good, man. Like that's a good baseball team with hitters up and down the lineup. You don't really have a number 1 arm, do you? Or do you?
I would say they have some depth towards the top, but not a true number 1. They don't have an Owen Nesledge like they did last year, but they have some emerging arms. Caden Jackman can be dangerous. The sophomore who's going to be playing professional hockey next year is a power 4 baseball player if he chose to be. They got Andrew Reed on the mound, Drew Bogus. So they have some really nice arms, but they don't have like we go through the resume and the list of what a Drew Parsons and a Zahenley and CJ Lake and Polites and Caltaterras and Hiltzingers and obviously Van Hook. They don't have one of those guys, but they do it in a little different way, more of a strength in numbers type approach.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, obviously that first round matchup with Vianney is it's a tough one. And it makes you wonder, are they going to throw Van Hook? Are they going to throw Little Dorman? Are they going to throw Sam Smith? Are they going to throw Ben Theroff? Are they going to throw Max Flores? The list goes on, because that's just how darn deep they are. It's a strong district with a lot of intriguing matchups.
Kevin, when you're looking at this one here, I think the pitching depth from Jackson to Oakville, to Seckman, to Vianney, even Lindbergh in that respect. I mean, I think that's what makes this. You look at Seckman, you've got guys, Cole Mann, 1.12, Hilzinger, 1.19, Carson Harden, who's got 32 and a third, 173, Will Woocher, 195. Bingle has a 2.1, Max Jones, a 2.1. Brody Kuby's thrown just 13 and 2/3, a 2.56. Seckman's issue is not pitching. Can they produce enough runs?
Yeah, that's a good question.
At the
I was just looking at this tournament bracket and thinking about, I think Dave hit it. I think Seckman's going to take care of Northwest.
Sure.
And do I think Jackson is going to beat Fox? Yes, I do. But really, there's going to be a whole lot of competitive baseball games anyway this shakes out. The semifinal games are going to be unbelievable. The first round games are going to be highly entertaining. And there is if Vegas came out with odds on this thing, this would be the most wide-ranging odds of who would win this tournament. I don't think, no one would be in the 5% or higher, odds of winning this bracket. Like, I think you would see a bunch of in that 10 to 30% range for chances to win this bracket.
Well, and because I'm looking at the lower bracket to start with here, because Seckman in that 2 spot, they're going to face Vianney. We understand that, but your best hitter is your big time arm in Max Jones, and offensively, that's where I think Seckman. It'll be interesting to see, because we saw Seckman in Springfield taking on Kearney. They lost to Kearney, and Max Jones was swinging the bat as well as anybody. And he's the one leading the team. Pitching, no problem, but I think this could be where – but on the other side of this equation, when we saw Vianney just last night, now they were missing Van Hook. He wasn't in the lineup, but again, there's your best pitcher and also your best hitter. I mean, these two teams, in my opinion, when you look at Seckman and Vianney, are mirror images of each other when you look at the pitching depth, and then offensively – that's your number one, basically. I don't know. Maybe he's 1A. Hilsinger might be 1A. I don't know between the two of them. But you look at that, and this is, to me, where this matchup is, I think, the most intriguing of the district, Seckman-Vianney, in that loads of pitching depth. Where are you going to get your offense? How are you going to score runs? That to me is where I'm looking forward to that one, because I think both Vianney, I think, does get past Kirkwood. No offense, I like Coach Spitzmiller's done a great job at Kirkwood since he's taken over there. I really like what he's doing. That team's going to be fine. But that Seckman-Vianney matchup in the semis is what I'm seeing. Wow, it could be a 1-0 ball game, guys. Dave, we didn't catch you there. Are you muted?
He's speechless.
I'm speechless. Yeah, I said it very well. It very well could. Yeah. Low scoring is what you would kind of assume if those two teams go at it. I'm not counting Kirkwood out, though. I'm really not. Okay. Vianney's talented, more talented than Kirkwood. Let's just call a spade. But Kirkwood's got some pieces. And if they all click at the right time, and it's high school baseball, right? Anyone can really beat anyone, especially in Class 6.
I would agree with what Dave just said. Vianney's clearly the more talented roster. Kirkwood has some wins that they would be a scary team, and they have, a good little style they play. Coach Spitzmiller's done a good job. Vianney is one of the more talented teams in the state, though. No one would disagree with that statement. Tons of pitching depth. And I think that is the exciting thing. You start looking at these potential semifinal matchups. Yes, of Vianney, Seckman, if they can get to that. Man, that Oakville-Limburg game is going to be insane. That's going to be a great game. But then whoever advances versus, and I'm going to say, let's say Jackson advances over Fox, that's going to be a heavyweight bout too, whether it's Oakville or Limburg. So this is going to be a fun district. There's going to be, big time games up and down. And I honestly, I could see this district going so many different directions. It's tough to pick a winner in this one.
Guys, we just saw Jackson this past week. We were down there Tuesday for our game of the week. Kevin, I'm with Kevin. It's probably my favorite place to go. That's just the hospitality of the folks. And I got to give a shout out to Mrs. Coach Roach, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Always make sure you feel welcome and whatnot. And I love Coach Roach and what he does with that program. Jackson's just a fun place to go and a fun place to go watch a baseball game.
One thing that is going to skew this district is, who is the host of this district?
It is, I think it's Lindbergh is hosting. Jackson never gets it. Hang on just a second. I'll tell you, Kevin. Class 6. The host is Lindbergh. Yep.
Okay.
The host is Lindbergh.
Jackson hosting would move the odds significantly into their favor due to their home field advantages and it's a phenomenal
Yes.
venue and atmosphere down there.
Saw those guys swing the bat. Got to see Drew Parsons. Oh, that dude is good. My goodness, that's the first time I've seen him pitch. That roster, that lineup, Dawson Eftink in that. Oh my goodness! Now, we talk about home runs. Most high school ballparks are 365, 375 to center, folks, and whatnot. No, Jackson plays on one of those big boy parks like in Rockbridge. It's 402 to center. Okay, Dawson Eftink hits the ball on a line. I mean, on a line. It hits the wall just to the left of the 402 mark, halfway up the wall, and bangs off of it. Hardest ball I've seen hit all spring was Dawson Eftink. That ball was smoked. It was a triple, cleared the bases. Jackson's for real, folks. It's going to take a lot to beat this team in this district. There are teams that can, but just the eye test, what you get to see sometimes, it's a lot of fun. But this is the most loaded district. We could talk about this district forever, but time would not allow us. So let's move on.
Who's your pick?
Who's my pick in that? I'll tell you, folks. I'm going to take Jackson. I just think I've seen Vianney, I've seen Jackson, I've seen Seckman, seen Lindbergh, seen all these teams. I think Jackson is the team to beat in that district. It's not going to be easy. It's no cakewalk. That's the thing. It's just no cakewalk there. So, District 2, here's another one with 7 teams in it, and far and away one of the biggest getting that 1 seed here for Eureka. Oh my gosh, what an advantage. Although Lafayette is playing Waynesville, no smoke on Waynesville, but Lafayette should win that one easy as the 2 seed. Marquette 3. I think you could easily flip-flop those teams, Lafayette and Marquette in the 2-3, but Rolla is the one here, guys, I would like to start with in this district because it's one of those schools that is, in the middle of the state. They have to really travel to play, and they work to play a pretty good schedule, does Rolla, and they end up 23-7. Kevin, I think this is a dangerous team in this district.
Brian, I'm sorry, you said Rolla, dangerous team?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the pitching is going to catch up to them when they're going to play Parkway South right out of the gate and then get to face Eureka that has really a 3-headed monster at the top and then plenty of depth right behind their big 3 arms. The 1 seed you said is going to be a tremendous advantage. I like Eureka in this district for that reason. Lafayette's also playing great baseball. They beat Marquette twice recently. I do like Marquette. I think there's 3 really strong teams in this district with Eureka, Lafayette, and Marquette. Ultimately, I think this will be a Lafayette-Eureka finals. Time shall tell. There's certainly no guarantee. And those 2 are rivals, so that will be a fun matchup if that happens. But Marquette, man, they can swing the bats. They have a real good lineup. So this is going to be a potential good semifinal matchup there, Dave.
You're muted, buddy.
I'm trying to be respectful and I mute myself. I agree, and Rolla's talented, and Parkway South is kind of an up and down, but I could see Parkway South winning that game. and actually giving Eureka a fairly competitive 1-4 or 1-5 game. What is that, 1-5 game? I don't necessarily think getting the first round bye is really that big of a deal between the 1 and the 2, because Lafayette's going to have no problems at all with Waynesville, none whatsoever. Although I think Eureka is probably, outside of Jackson, the best team in our area, I think Lafayette wins this district. Lafayette's playing really good baseball right now. They split with Eureka. They swept Marquette. They have a big three in Sin, Matthews, and Krimmel. And Pickering's a really good pitcher as well. And yes, I know Eureka's got a lot of depth, but the Lafayette lineup, it's clicking right now. They're hitting the baseball. They're playing with their hair on fire. And, for whatever reason, Eureka's never really been able to get out of their district, and Lafayette has. So my pick is Lafayette.
Wow. Bold. I love that.
Bold.
I love that, Dave. That's awesome. I can't disagree in one respect. I just think of a 1.75 team ERA on that Eureka squad, and I'm like, and Chase Rader, he's been having a year. The kid can swing the bat.
Yep.
I think Lafayette is real. I like Cole DuPont. I like what he does with that team. I think they respond well to him. Coach Meyer, we got to see Marquette play this year against Rockwood Summit, and they can swing the bats. They beat a good Wyatt Snyder there with Rockwood Summit, and I think that is definitely it. Parkway South might sneak a win. They can beat Rolla with is it Schneiders or Schneider?
Schneider. Jordan Schneider.
Yeah, on the mound. So, and for them to get there, that's what they're going to have to do. But that's what I see. Eureka, we've had them in our top. I think they're one of the best teams in the state. Period. If their bats are playing, which they've started to wake up since we were there against Lindbergh. Ringy hits the bomb, grand slam, which started the most incredible run of home runs I've seen at the high school level. We have seen home run after home run. We saw 3 grand slams in 2 days. St. Anthony's and Father McGivney was just berserk with everybody crushing the baseball everywhere. 2 grand slams in one game. It was nuts. And it was all due to Craig Ringy. That's what I'm going to say right there. He started it all. So I like, and they've put up some double-digit numbers. They're playing really good baseball right now. If that offense is rolling like that, friend, you're not gonna beat Eureka. I'm gonna say that. That's bold right there, but that's just what I think. Okay. So, Kevin, who do you think, man?
Boy, I think that's going to be a great. That's going to be like my favorite championship game. I think is what I think. I do like kind of the edge and looseness that Coach DuPont brings. I might take Lafayette in a very mild upset in that one, but it's going to be interesting because Eureka is going to have 2 big arms left for that championship game, no matter how they. That's the nice thing about Eureka's situation. Yeah, they're going to be able to. Yeah, but I will step out on a small branch and take Lafayette in this one.
Okay, all right. I mean, you look at the last. I mean, they Eureka beat Marquette they swept Marquette 5-2, 5-1, beat Vianney 13-4, beat Parkway Central 11-1, Lindbergh 7-3, 8-1, 11-0 over Northwest Cedar, beat Francis House Central, who's playing as good a baseball as I've seen around. They're playing really good. Beat them 12-3, shut out Kirkwood 6-0. If they're scoring runs like that, folks, just saying.
Yeah, for sure. They're very, very good.
Yeah.
No doubt.
SLU is the number 1 seed in District 3. I'm not surprised. I've liked this team from the beginning. They're really good. They're playing good baseball. You got CBC in the number 2 hole. Then it goes Francis Howell North and Ladue Horton Watkins, because you have to put somebody in the 4 seed. And I'm sorry. I again, no offense to Ladue or Pattonville or Rittner or Hazelwood West. This is a 2-team race, SLU and CBC. Howell North, they've got Carson Howard. What is it? Landon Steeritz pitched well, but I don't think Howell North they've kind of faded towards the end. SLU is just playing real good. We saw CBC, they struggled a bit, but they got dudes. It was fun watching Corday Gage play baseball. GT Taylor. One of the finest young men I've talked to, GT Taylor. Just enjoy conversations with that young man. Just a lot of fun. Just have a lot of respect for that kid. SLU, CBC, guys, start with you, Dave. What do you think?
I think Howell North can hold Howard and beat Hazelwood West without throwing him, and I think Howard can give CBC a game. I don't think it's an auto win for CBC by any means. CBC is very good, but Howard can hold that offense down, and CBC doesn't necessarily have a power arm that they can throw to just shut Howell North down. I think you see a good baseball game there and possibly an upset. I didn't even realize Ladue was Class 6 until a couple days ago. I had to double check because I can't remember the last time they were Class 6. Really, really unfortunate for them. SLU's just going to tear through all the way to the championship game. And I think, barring a miracle, I think SLU wins that district pretty handily.
Kevin?
Yeah, I would put SLU as the clear favorite. Howell North beat CBC earlier in the season. So CBC is going to have to show them respect, and I would think would throw Daniel Bergner the lefty heading to Drury. Maybe not. I don't have any inside information on that, but they're not going to be able to hold I wouldn't think they'd be able to hold their number 1 for the championship. So yeah, I think CBC ultimately advances, but I do like the Junior Billikens in this to have their way with this district.
Head to District 4. To me, this one gets close to District 1 just because of the play that you've seen. I'm going to go to my North Point guys, Dave.
Yes.
But no, North Point, Troy Buchanan, Liberty Winsville, Timberland, all 4 of those teams have played some pretty good baseball throughout the season. Do I think they're, state championship, maybe finalists or anything I don't, but this is not going to be an easy tournament for Howell Central or Zumwalt West, the top 3 seeds in this, and I'm not surprised that Howell Central got the 2 seed over Zumwalt West. Coach Beckman has that team playing very well, and it's probably, and they're not household names for high school baseball if you want to put it that way. And so let's start with you, Kevin. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, this is going to be a highly competitive district. No one's scared of anyone. There's history with all of them. They're all familiar with each other. They all play really competitive schedules. So this is going to be a very strong district. And, I don't think anyone is far and away better than anyone this year. There are years when you say, okay, Howell is clearly the best team, or West is clearly the best team, or it's just those 2. That ain't the case this year. I think Hal Central's had a really good year, especially recently. They've Coach Beckman's done a good job with them. They're playing really strong, and they're hosting, which I think does make a difference. Obviously Hal has the pedigree. They also have the pitching, which is a really good thing. And I do like that their advantage of being in the top part of that bracket. That's significant. If Hal Central is going to get Ryan Dobrats right out of the gate, the Ole Miss commit, the junior Ole Miss commit for Liberty. So they're going to have their hands full right out the bat. And then if they're able to win that game, they're going to get Zumwalt West. If West can get past Timberland, so I would imagine West will have to throw Pyle either in game 1 or 2. So that's Hal's advantage, in this district that's going to be highly competitive all the way through, in my opinion, Dave.
Yeah, I think West is going to have to throw Pyle because Timberland's going to throw Sansone. And Sansone is as good a pitcher as any pitcher in that district. That's a very tough first-round matchup for Zumi West. And it falls off pretty significantly behind Pyle, pitching-wise, for the Jags. Francis Howell right now doesn't have Dylan Curtis. It's up in the air as to if he's going to pitch in districts or not. Huge hit to that staff. Jake Brett Schneider just hasn't been Jake Brett Schneider this year. So Howell's pitching depth, it's not what it usually is with Curtis down and Brett Schneider, not really being figured out right now. You looked at Drew Dirks is probably the best pitcher available. Behind him, Derek Chubb, who's kind of been up and down. But I mean, I've seen 2 games now where Laird Van Sievers had to get on the mound. So Howell isn't just arm rich like they've been in the past right now. And that's really going to hurt them. Howell Central is the team, like Brian said, just no really household names, but they might be playing the best baseball of any of those schools. Zumi West had a big extra inning win against SLU the other night at SLU, which you need. Sometimes you need a win like that to kind of propel you in. But my goodness, like you're talking about Ryan Dobrats on the bump against Howell Central, the 2 seed, and Parker Sansone on the bump against Zumi, the 3. There's no guarantee either of those 2 teams make it. But I will tell you this, do not be surprised if Nolan Sism is on the bump as a starting pitcher in one of those games in districts. Like he started a game the other day and was brilliant on the mound, went 6 innings, threw really well against Parkway Central. And I guarantee that was Coach Sism being like, hey, man, I know what it might take to win this district. Mr. Baseball, you might have to also get on the mound and win us a game. So that's going to be a fun district.
That's true. There's some guys, I remember watching Nolan Sisson when he started as a freshman, and Kevin had given this young man high praise, and I saw him for the first time. It's like, man, that's a professional at bat, and the kid has just been, and he's just one of those guys, and they are going to need that type of performance from a system to get into just even getting a championship game. And
they need him to be Superman.
Yeah,
if
I
they
saw that
they
he
want to
started.
win districts.
Yeah,
they need him to be Superman. I mean, he hit a darn 3-0 triple down 2 against SLU in the 6th inning. Like the dude never swings 3-0. He's figuring out I might need to do a little bit extra if we want to win these games.
And his temperature, Kevin, and you've seen him for quite some time. His temperature just he runs at that. He just seems to be too big for the kid.
Yeah.
No, he is arguably the best positional player in the state, and that's a great piece to have. And Dave's insight there with him on the mound makes a ton of sense. That if they're going to get there, it's going to take more than Brendan Pyle pitching, and you're going to need a couple, championship efforts on the mound to win this thing, no matter which team it is, whether it's Hal Central or West or Howell or Timberland, Liberty, whoever it is, Troy, North Point. It's going to take multiple big-time outings on the mound to get through a district like this.
And for West, I think they're going to need. I think he's a. I'm checking real quick, and because I think he is a junior. I want to make sure before I
Cody?
say it. Cody Baden. He
Yeah,
had a
he's a
really
junior.
good stretch there, and Cody Baden pitched very well for this team. They're going to need that kind of performance from him
Yes.
in districts for them to move on. So I don't know. I honestly I'm sitting here. I'm like, yeah, you could pick somebody, but I don't know if you're going to be right because I don't think there's a clear favorite in that respect. I think whoever's pitching well and who's hitting well. Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry, man.
This is the most wide open this district has been in years. That's what I'll say.
Yep.
It's legitimately open, and this isn't going to be an upset necessarily if someone beats a higher seed. Dave rightly pointed out, like Timberwood could easily win their first game with Parker Sansone on the mound. Liberty could easily win their first round game with Dobratz on the mound. I would be shocked if Howell lost their first round game, which might be why I give them an edge. Is I see their path is a little easier, which is the only way I can make logic of this bracket, because I do like a lot of the teams, but it wouldn't shock me at all if West charged through and won 3 in a row, or House Central is probably playing the best right now if they charged through and won 3 in a row. So I do see it as open, but I do like Howell's path, which is why I would side with them.
I think
If I'm North Point, sorry.
No,
if
that's where I
I'm
was
North
going.
Point and I roll the dice, if I'm North Point, I'm going to try to beat Troy without throwing Nenninger, because Nenninger is my best chance to beat Howell. If I want to win that district and I want to knock off number one, I'm rolling the dice. Troy's a very well coached, very good baseball team, but I don't need a power arm to beat them. I'm holding, and I'm hoping upon hope that Nenninger gets a chance to face Howell.
You got Alex White and Jamison Brown, both guys, 2.7 ERA for Jamison Brown, 37 2/3, and you got Alex White with the 2.28 in 40 innings. So you got a couple guys you can. I like what you said. I agree with you, Dave. I think Coach Schmidt, if you're going to get to Howell and have a chance to get to that championship game, I think you're going to have to be a little crapshooter right there.
Mm-hmm.
One note, this district has been reformatted. This district was one of the only ones in the state, maybe the only one in the state, that would finish on the following Monday. So now you're not going to be able to roll back the game one starter, which you had been able to do in years past out of this district, which I always thought was kind of interesting. The districts kind of did different things, but now this is more of we're starting on the 19th, then we're playing the next day on the 20th, day off, playing on the 22nd. So it's kind of a one-shot deal for your starting pitchers. Obviously, bullpen pieces are a little bit different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, one of the funner districts. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch who comes out of that, where that gets to. District
Which
5.
way are you going?
I'm telling you, dude. I'll tell you what. I think I'm going to go with the team that's been playing the best, and I think it's going to be Howell Central. I think they're coming out of that playing well. And they're going to have to, if Zumwalt West wins that one, I think they're winning it. I think Howell has just not played very well down the stretch, and their pitching is not as good. And I think Zumwalt West Central game there, and I think Central's playing really good baseball.
Howell's 3-6 in their last 9.
Yeah, I mean Perkins over there probably scratching his head. What am I gonna, I got to get somebody who's going to step up. Dirks is the interesting one. I agree with you there, Dave. To see, Shake Speckert, can he come out and do something for them? You're getting deep into that rotation, and Brett Snyder, can he be the guy? I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. District 5 is interesting to me as there's respect there, but I personally, I would have put Rockbridge as the number 1 seed in this district personally. That's what, I mean, can you say Rockbridge, Blue Springs South is better? I don't know, maybe. I saw both teams play this year. We've seen Blue Springs South. We've seen Rockbridge. I think Blue Springs South, they are good. Don't make no mistake. But seen Rockbridge, they're really good. Rockbridge is now their 4th consecutive CMAC title. They've played a really good schedule. They're playing good baseball. I do think this ends up being, unless Smith Cotton, which they can do, but 3 seed at Smith Cotton, 6 seed at Hickman, that's probably the best first round matchup in this tournament is Smith Cotton Hickman, guys. Who wants to
go? Sure. I can go. Yeah, this is going to be a fun district. Now, I made a comment about in Class 5 about that wasn't even the toughest opening matchup with regarding DeSoto and Blake Coleman matchup. The number 1 pitcher in the state, without question, the number 1 draft prospect in the state of Missouri is an 8 seed this year at Battle, and they got Blue Springs South. So although I agree with the seeding, Blue Springs South should be the 1 seed over Rockbridge. Rockbridge has lost 5 of their last 8, and Blue Springs South has a really good record and has played an unbelievable schedule. I don't know if it's a favor. They're going to get Tyler Putnam in round 1 to play Battle, and they're going to face a legitimate mid-90s arm in high school baseball in a district playoff game. So they've seen that before. I think they will eventually outlast him. He's been on a pitch count. He's the type of prospect where there's, guardrails in there for him, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's turned loose a little bit in a district final game or district ball game. So that's going to be an uncomfortable game for the defending state champions, but a lot of pedigree there and a really good team. Smith Cotton is a dangerous team led by Kendall Hagedorn. I know he broke his the all-time doubles record in the state of Missouri, and one of the top bats, if not the top bat, him and Sissom, in my opinion, right there in the state. Rockbridge, so well coached. They haven't, all respect, Coach Tao's a great coach. They haven't skipped a beat. They've picked up and they play a great schedule. A lot of respect for Rockbridge here. So in Green Valley, we talk about DeSmet as, the best 4 seed. They're Class 5. Green Valley is a 4 seed in this bracket. They're a great team. They're really good, super talented. So, Blue Springs South is going to get double barreled right off the bat. They're going to get Tyler Putnam, and then they're going to get Green Valley. So those are 2 really tough games where, normally you're a 1 seed and you might think, we're going to get a breath to start out. We've talked about that in some of the other brackets where, we're going to pick the 1 seed because they kind of get to hold off some pitching. Blue Springs is going to have to give it their best shot game 1 and game 2.
Do you think you're going to see go ahead, Dave. You're on mute, buddy. You're on mute.
Out of this, my goodness. Can we potentially see Graydon Suferling versus Tyler Putnam? That would be awesome. There would be 100 radar guns in the stands.
I will be there if it happens. That's the interesting thing. This is where these coaches make their big dollars. It's like, you do it. I hope so. It'd be awesome for high school baseball in Missouri if it happened, right?
But I don't think Coach Baier needs to, though. That's the thing. Against Battle.
The question becomes, if Putnam can go all 7, he could hold you scoreless. Like you know, and we've talked about it before with Coach Bear. Does Superling give him his best chance to win, or is Superling a power enough arm where, even if he sprays it a little bit, that's not going to affect him against battle, right? Does he maybe have a better arm to throw? Not better, but like a more productive arm to throw if they do use Superling against battle?
And no offense to Superling, we saw him against Liberty North. We did. That was our game of the week. And it's like any other young power arm that's still trying to figure it out. It got away from him, and the walks piled up a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed. I think the kid is a really good pitcher, and but maybe not as polished as a Putnam just yet. Still learning some of that. And is he going to be on? And that, I think, is is that where you go with that?
That's you might have seen him on one night. He also closed out the state championship game, and
Yes.
He's got experience, and I wouldn't call him not a strike thrower. I'm not saying on one given day. I'm not saying it wasn't in Liberty North. That's
a different
maybe
animal.
The top offense in the state.
Yeah.
It certainly won't be confused with Battle's offense.
No, and that's what I'm saying here. Do you really need Superling in that? And again, it was Liberty North. I agree with you there, Kevin. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed watching, and Superling turned around in the first inning and hit a 2-run bomb. So he's definitely there. But I don't know. It just, do you need Superling in that spot, and can you keep him for a better situation? And that's that's the thought process. And that's why you get I'm not making that decision.
That's why you get the high school coaching stipend, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We saw it last year, and obviously Coach P essentially had 2 number ones in Skid and Curtis last year, but I don't think Curtis threw in the playoffs last year either. Did he?
No. Oh no,
No.
No, I think
he did not, because he was down.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But Perkins knew, hey, I'm going against Camden Loman, even though it's a 1-8 game. I got to Skid. He threw Skid, and it was a 1-0 game.
Yeah.
It was an awesome game. Yes.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to be in Coach Bear's shoes. We'll put it that way. Having to make those decisions, because it's tough. It is tough.
Yeah.
I love that 3-6 matchup between Smith Cotton and Hickman. I do think that's the best game, besides what Kevin said there in the first round. With Hickman's played pretty good baseball. I don't think they play the toughest schedule. Smith Cotton, I think, plays a better schedule overall, and that's why they're in the 3 seed. They've probably lost some more games, but Coach Zimmerman does a good job with that team. And they have the youth on that team. You got Hagedorn, but the left side of that infield is really, really good. That's a talented couple of kids on that left side, defensively, offensively. They're going to be I think Smith Cotton's going to be pretty good for a few years. I know they're going to lose Hagedorn this year, which is kind of a bummer with that squad, as youthful as they are. But I like that. I got to say that about Hagedorn. I've seen this young man twice this year, and both times, Kevin, it's funny. It's just hard to get him out.
In terms of taking, yes, I would quickly point to Keelan Zumwalt, who's the most talented hitter in the state. Like, if we're talking Pro Tools and that type of thing. But if I have to take if I need a professional at bat who's going to grind out a bat, there's only 2. The top 2, in my opinion, are Nolan System and Kendall Hagedorn, and that's who's going to give you the best grinded out at bats without, in my opinion, without question. So,
and what's funny is
it's no doubt they both lead the area in doubles. That's a marker right there of a good high school hitter, is tons of doubles, right?
And talking with Coach Draghi because we saw Eureka against Smith Cotton at the Columbia tournament, and I mean, Eureka, they had it to win, and they had the bases loaded, and it was Hagedorn, and Manny Smokeland and Coach Dre's like, man, that kid can just hit. You know, it's just one of those things. He goes, my goodness, because he didn't really know that much about him in that respect. And he's like, boy, that's not a guy you want to pitch to. And no, it's not. I don't care what pitcher's on the mound. It's just, that's the guy. It's just one of those things. So that'll be fun. I'm split between the two. I do think Blue Springs South, Rockbridge, unless Smith Cotton gets on a heater and can got an upset in him there. Blue Springs South, Green Valley, it's going to be tough. You know, it's his last year. I think Blue Springs South has the talent and the ability to make another run and win this here. But guys, thoughts? Yeah.
I would second that. I would go with Blue Springs South, but man, it's going to be an uncomfortable journey to win this district.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I love that, uncomfortable. District 6, guys, is another one that has got depth to it. The number 1 seed, and I think this is because of head-to-head. And I think this is where you go, and this is where it's like you go, how is Glendale the number 1 seed over Nixa? Yep. And I think that's a head-to-head deal right there. Glendale gets the 1 seed over Nixa, and I'm a little surprised. I didn't see that coming.
How is it a head-to-head if Nixa beat them 9-2?
I thought I was, when I was looking, so I made the mistake. I thought Glendale had lost.
I don't know how Glendale got the 1 seed over Nixa. I'm scratching my head right now.
20-14, because they did play once, and Nixa. Yeah, that's right. They did lose to Nixa.
Kevin, can you please explain this?
I don't, because Nixa is also, I've seen it sometimes where, you see a gaudy record and someone doesn't have as good of a record, but the strength of schedule is so unbalanced. Like Chaminade's situation. They played a tremendous schedule. Nixa played a phenomenal schedule. And they passed the eye test, like any sort of. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Glendale. I love Glendale. But, yeah, I don't get this one, especially with the head. I can offer no valuable insight on this one. I would love to.
Only thing I can think is Glendale beat Joplin in 8 innings, and Nixa lost to Joplin, and they beat Ozark. And Nixa lost to Ozark. But they both lost to Howell. This had to have been a coin flip. There's no way in those coaches' right minds there was a majority vote of Glendale over Nixa. I can't believe it. Wow.
And Nixa's won 9 of their last 10. Like, they're playing well right now. Conversation for another day. We talked about this. I wish there was a different way they did these seeding. And it's not to this situation. I've just heard too many stories about it puts the coaches in a tough spot with the voting and the way it's done. Not a big proponent of it. I don't know if I have a better solution other than, getting some retired coaches to seed this thing. But it is an interesting process. We'll just leave it at that.
This is a gauntlet of a district.
This is a tough district.
This is a gauntlet. This might be harder than the District 1. I mean,
it's possible.
Joplin's your 5, Ozark's your 4, and they've both beaten seeds 1 and 2. And then Neosho has Brody Crane. I mean, Brody Crane's a mid-90s righty.
And you could see, what is it, Brody Crane. And
Brody Wilson,
Brody
yes,
Wilson.
also one of the top arms in the state for Kickapoo.
He's got a heck of a staff, a good offense. I'm actually going to change my mind and say that this right here is the gauntlet district in Class 6. This is insane to me.
That 3-6 matchup, Kevin, that's going to be Brody Wilson and Brody Crane.
You would sure think, yes.
Right? I mean, good golly.
Wow.
Just to get a chance, and Nixa getting past Branson. Branson's played pretty well down the stretch.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, Neosho's no slouch, guys. I mean, they're 17 and 13. I mean, yeah, this is up in the air. I can't pick a winner. I refuse to pick a winner.
I'll pick one, but without much certainty. This is going to be a fun bracket. There are tons of talent. Ozark, that's a loaded team. One of my favorite hitters in the state, Rylan Sutton, heading to Ole Miss. Glendale, Brady Yates is having a monster, and I mean a monster season over at Glendale. Nixa, in my opinion, is one of the most talented teams in the state. Like, if we're just talking roster depth. Kickapoo has got a fun big arm at Neosho. And I think I do like Nixa in this bracket, but this is going to be a lot of fun.
Maybe they all sat around and they said, well, you know what? Glendale has Brady Yates, so they're the 1 seed. God, because that kid's on another planet.
Yes, he is. Boy.
Fun to watch. And he's at.
I wish we could see stats for them, because I think he has like 14 home runs.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
But man,
and he's hitting for average too. It's not just the home runs, folks. This young man, Yates, is also hitting for average. He's driving in runs. He's the heartbeat of that lineup. He just is. And I'll tell you what, guys. We saw Kickapoo and Nixa play, and it was a 1-run ball game, and it took all 7 innings to decide it. And it was Cameron Miller and Brody Wilson on the mound for these two squads. And I could say, to me, that right there, Nixa, they should get past Branson. Kickapoo's going to have a harder time getting past Neosho if that's Brody Crane. And they're going to have to do some work to get there. Kickapoo's depth at pitching, they have one of the better pitching staffs in the state. They have depth there. Offensively, they have guys. I could see that Nixa, Kickapoo, and Glendale, Ozark. Joplin is sitting there. Can they make another run like they did last year? Because nobody thought they were going to win the district last year. So that's what happened. Ozark in big games has not showed up. That's just my thought process. Every time I've looked at Ozark and I've gone, yeah, I think they haven't shown up. Will they show up in this one? I don't know. I can't put my finger on that. I don't know why. But I could see Glendale getting to the championship game there, even over Ozark, as far as that's concerned. And, it's a coin toss. Nixa, Kickapoo, Neosho, flip a coin. I think. But once you get past Brody Crane, I think Neosho it'll be tough in that semifinal. Nixa, they could be right there. Could be a Nixa Glendale final. That's my thought process to it, because I think Kickapoo's going to have to burn a little bit to get past Neosho. So that could slow him down just a bit more than Nixa at Branson. That's my thoughts on it. So we'll come back to some picks on this. We'll let that one stew. District 7, here's another one that's interesting, and only having 7 teams. I agree with that. I think Rockhurst is the number 1 seed. Lee Summit, whom I had at the top there at the beginning is the 2 seed. Ray Peck has played good baseball through the season at the 3 seed. Carthage is a 6. That's a pretty good 6. Lee Summit West at 5. I love that. Lee Summit North, not known for being a baseball powerhouse, more the football, but gets the 4 seed, and they've had a really good season for them. 16 and 17, and now people are like, wait, what? The 16 and the 4 seed? Yeah, absolutely. Because Lee Summit West at the 5, they've had their scuffles as well, 16 and 19. And that's so you got a 4 and a 5 seed. They play really good schedules. That is, and folks, you have to understand, that's the KC Suburban Gold, which is Liberty North, Staley. Who else is in that? Is Ray Peck? I think Ray Peck's in the gold as well. It's just a brutally tough conference, and that's where Lee Summit and Lee North and Lee Summit West reside, and Lee Summit. So those 3 teams right there, I think this district, Rockhurst could come out of this one on top. Kevin, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Rockhurst a lot, and this is really set up for them. We talked about the bye. I think that matters here, but a lot of talent on that Rockhurst ball club. You got the lefty Owen Hughes going to Kentucky. You got Warren Robertson, the Notre Dame commit. So there's a lot of firepower there at Rockhurst. It is laid out for them. I would say this is their district to win. Doesn't mean it'll happen that way, but I would call them heavy favorites in this one.
Yeah, I agree. Lee Summit has been up and down all season. I like the talent on that squad with Micah Patterson at the top of that. One of the best left-handed bats I've seen in the state. He just swings it well. TJ Boston's right there. They got the Thompson kid at shortstop, but they've just not been able to put it together. And it's been a struggle for them all season. But I think they're there in the final when it comes down to it. I think them and Rockhurst. Ray Peck is good. I wouldn't count Ray Peck out. They've got some talent on that squad, the 3 seed, 18 and 15 on the season. But I think Rockhurst, they've played the most consistent baseball, I think, of those teams, Kevin. Dave, you got any thoughts on it up there?
No, I'm good. I don't know anything about those teams, so I'm going to pretend to.
I understand. I worked very hard. We got to see Lee Summit this year, and so we're working hard to get over more on that side of the state so we can speak somewhat intelligently about these teams. It's hard, man. It is hard. Here it is. We dubbed this. When did we dub this? This was like back in 21, didn't we dub this? Kevin
Yes.
said this is the District of Death. And I can't say it really is. The top 3 are there. Park Hill South, Park Hill are down. Oak Park, I don't think they have anything for Liberty North. Staley, man, just been on a heater in the second half of the season. Ever since when they won, we did the game with them at Platte County, and they won 4-2. They go and they lose the next game, and they go to the Columbia tournament and sweep the tournament. They beat Francis Howell twice in that tournament. And then they went on a heater and won 12 in a row, 13 in a row, some number like that. I'm not looking at it. And have played really good baseball since. I'm going to tell you, they've beat Liberty North. Liberty North has beat them. That's going to be a heck of a semifinal matchup. Dave, I don't know if you've seen or know much about these two teams. I know we've talked a little bit about Staley before, but wow.
Yeah, I mean, 16 of the last 18, right?
Yeah.
They won the Columbia tournament. Yeah. And like you said, they split with Liberty North. I mean, it's a 3-horse race. I could see Liberty, Liberty North, or Staley coming out. Um, all three teams are just immensely talented. Their rosters are deep. A lot of great players. Yeah, I can't confidently say any of those three is a shoe in to win that. Like that's going to be, like you said, that semifinal matchup, the Liberty North and Staley game. That's going to be awesome.
Kevin, that's kind of a Final Four matchup, in my opinion.
It is. You could take those three and put them in the Final Four. That obviously cannot happen. Kansas City area has dominated Class 6 for a good long stretch here, and it's been Staley, Liberty North, Liberty, Blue Springs, and Blue Springs South, and that's kind of been Class 6 in a nutshell. Those are your state champions there. So, whoever gets out of this district automatically becomes the favorite to win Class 6. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but over the last 6 years or so, that's been the history of it. Save Blue Springs South. So, obviously you like Liberty's position only because they play one less. They don't have to. The Liberty North and Staley have to play each other, so they're going to get, but sometimes there's some momentum after a victory like that. So it'll be fascinating to see. I would only pick Liberty just because they don't have to play two of the three games, So if Staley was the one or Liberty North was the one, I would pick them. It's simply just a math game on the pick there on that one.
Folks, and to Kevin's point, North Kansas City, no offense to that squad over there, they've already lost to Liberty 11-0. Park just recently on May 4th and May 6th, they played at Park Hill. Liberty beat them 11-1. They beat Park Hill South 7-1. They beat North Kansas City here on the 11th, 17-0, and they beat Central St. Joseph 7-0. On the 12th, which is, I think it was that Tuesday, we had our game of the week down there with Jackson. Liberty North lost to Liberty at Liberty 4-2. So head-to-head right there, a little extra oomph to get them going. We saw these Liberty Blue Jays at the Red and Blue against Glendale, and they put a pretty good beat down on them there. Kevin, we talk about those teams. This is one of those teams that's just a grind it. They remind me a lot of Fort Zumwalt West with more talent. They grind you down. They beat you down. They wear you down. Everybody in the lineup takes those at bats. This could be the team that, with where they're at with the number one seed, and they don't have to play Staley or Liberty North early in. I like this team to come out of this district.
Yeah, that's a good description of them. I do think Liberty North might have the best lineup, but Liberty has some grit to them. Staley, arguably the hottest team in the state right now. They really stumbled out of the gates and then found themselves in that Columbia tournament, ran their way right through that thing, and have just continued on the heater that they've been on. So I really do like all three of these teams. It's a shame they're always in the same district. But it is one of those iron sharpens iron type things, and that's why you see the state champion often come out of this district.
Absolutely. I think I love this. I agree with you because we've seen Liberty North twice, and 1 through 9, it's some of the best at bats. And that's what happened to Suferling. I think he just got, when you watched him pitch, he was in there, but they just foul off pitch after pitch after pitch, and they just grind you down and make you not want to throw it in the strike zone anymore. They're trying to get too fine. When you start saying, I got to hit a corner to try and get them not to, and then it's, whether it's called a ball or a strike, then it's up to the umpire. when you start getting into those situations. So I agree with you. I love that lineup up and down. And then you got the sophomore, the younger Fisher brother. He hit 2 home runs the other day in the 9-hole, Kevin.
Theo.
Yeah. I mean, that's just not fair, man.
A lot of depth, a lot of talent. Yeah.
Yes. So I could see Liberty North or Staley getting into that championship game. And, the advantage, I think, does go to Liberty just because they have a little less to deal with there. So that's Class 6. Class 6. Going to be fun. I'll tell you, I'm taking Jackson, even though, and in District 1, I think you're going to see them. I think it's going to be Seckman. Jackson and Seckman in the championship there. Eureka is going to get probably Lafayette. I'm sticking with Eureka. I've had them all the way through. SLU, CBC, SLU's going to be there, I believe. And then you got, I think, Pick'em, but I am going to take Hal Central coming out of there. That'll be fun. SLU, Hal Central in that 3-4 quarterfinal. That'd be fun. Blue Springs South, I'm going to take Rockbridge. I'm taking Rockbridge in this one to come out of there. In the 5, District 5. And I think Nixa is going to come out of that. Kickapoo's going to give them everything. If Kickapoo does end up beating Nixa, if that's where that's at, I think you take Kickapoo there. But I think Nixa's the better team. Rockhurst, I think Rockhurst will come out of 7. And then 8, like I said, I think Liberty is the one there that they have the easier route. We'll put it that way. Guys, final thoughts here. Dave?
Yeah, I agree with most of that. I think I got Jackson. Winning District 1. I think the only
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh yeah, I said I have Jackson winning District 1.
Yeah.
Lafayette winning District 2. SLU winning District 3. Zumwalt West winning District 4.
That's your boys.
That is, man. Blue Springs South taking District 5. Kickapoo taking District 6. Rockhurst District 7. And Staley District 8.
Sweet.
Love it.
Love that.
Yep.
Kevin, you going to go on record or you going to hang in there, bro?
I can't. I feel like I made a pick on every one already, but
We're just
I'll go through it. Man, District 1, that's so hard. I'll go with Jackson. Vianney's going to be really tough though. Then I will go in District 2. I'm going Lafayette. That should be another great one. Then going with the Junior Bills, SLU. Then I am going to go with Howell. I think that is the most wide open one we've ever seen that in District 4, but I'm going to stick with Howell. I like their path a little better. District 5, I'm going the defending state champs in Blue Springs South. District 6, I'm going to go with Nixa. That would be, man, I wish I could go to every one of those baseball games. I guess I could technically. Well, actually, you can't go to every one. No, they do a full day. They start at 11 a.m., 1:30, 4, 6:30. So someone could go to every one of these games. I guess I could make that happen. I might have to. And then District 7, I am going to go with Rockhurst. In District 8, I will go with my state champion pick and the Liberty Jays.
Ooh. Oh, man. Liberty Jays getting the state championship. That's not a bad pick. I like that pick, Kevin. I think that's very real, man. That's very real. That's a good baseball team.
It's tough when you aren't confident your state champ pick is going to even get out of their district, though. So that's what makes it a tricky pick.
Hey, but it's well worth it. It's a solid pick, man. That's a solid.
Yeah,
pick.
my Jackson finally takes down Kansas City and wins a state championship.
Ooh, bold. I love that. Man.
I just think they're a complete team. They're really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's one of those corners. I think the middle, no, not so much. I think it is one of the corners this year in 1-8. I do. I agree. Those are nice picks. We'll save some for later. Hey, that was a lot of fun. Folks, a big shout out to these two gentlemen, Dave Wiggins, Kevin Moulder, for taking the time to sit down with us and dive into these districts, share their thoughts. We hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We got a giveaway going on. We got some great stuff we're giving away. We're giving away 2 Shohei Ohtani baseball cards from Topps now. It's good stuff. You'll like it. Hit the dinger next to it. It's not a home run, but it sure does get you notifications for more episodes just like this. And we've got our clubhouse exclusive content moving to the channel. The bullpen is up on the channel right now. If you want to join, you can hit the join button and become a clubhouse member. Support Youth Baseball Midwest. We do appreciate that. It helps us continue to do the things we're doing around the state and beyond. So thank you very much for tuning in. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. And guess what? I'm sure we will see you guys at the ballpark.